Welcome back, adventurers. This is episode 2 of the D&D Breakdown series, where we explore the new age of tabletop, one rule at a time. Today, we're deep diving into one of the biggest updates in the 2024 rules, character creation. If you ever built a D&D character using the 2014 rules, you're in for some major revelations. If you're brand new to the game, don't worry, we'll walk through everything in a way that's easy to understand. Let's roll initiative and dig right into it. Character creation is the very first step in your D&D adventure. It's where imagination meets mechanics, where a wild idea turns into a playable hero. In the 2014 Player's Handbook, there was a lot of structure to help guide new players, but it could also feel a bit restrictive. For example, if you wanted to play a strong wizard or a charismatic dwarf rogue, you might have felt like the system was nudging you in a different direction. Stats were always tied to your race, and that often pigeonholed characters into common stereotypes. The 2024 update flips that on its head. Now, the goal is flexibility, allowing you to create characters that make sense for your story, not just the math. Now, let's start with one of the most visible changes. The term race is now species. While this might seem like a simple word swap, it represents a broader design. In 2014, races came with baked in bonuses. Elves got a boost to dexterity, dwarves got constitution, dragonborn had strength and charisma, and while that made mechanical sense, it often locked players into certain builds. If you weren't using the optimal class for your race, you were technically falling a bit behind. In 2024, species still reflect your character's origin, whether they're an elf, orc, tiefling, or a goblin, but they no longer determine your ability score bonuses. This means you can create combinations like a gnome barbarian who's built like a tank, a graceful orc bard with charm and finesse, or a halfling wizard with unmatched intelligence. And none of them are penalized because of where they came from. The idea is that your background and personal journey shape who you are, not just your genetics. Now you might be asking, so where do ability scores come from now? Under the 2024 rules, you choose one of the following options. You get a +2 to one ability score and then a +1 to another, or a +1 to three different abilities of your choosing. This lets you shape your stats based on your vision. Want to make a monk with great dexterity, but who's also wise and charismatic? You can contribute those +1s however you want. It encourages creativity without punishing non traditional builds. Now, here's how that differs from the 2014 rules. In 2014, most of your stat boosts came from your race. In 2024, your stat boosts come from your background. We'll get to that next because it's one of the most exciting parts of the update. Now, backgrounds used to be simple. In 2014, they gave you two skill proficiencies, some tool proficiencies, maybe a language, and small roleplay perk. Flavorful but not game changing. In 2024, backgrounds are foundational. Here's what they give you now. They give you two ability score increases, same as we mentioned before, a level 1 feat, two skill proficiencies, one tool proficiency, one language, and starting equipment. Let's say your background is farmer. You might get +2 to constitution with a +1 to wisdom, the tough feat giving you extra HP, also proficiency in animal handling and nature, and maybe proficiency with the farming tool. Suddenly, your backstory matters. A soldier might start with the fighting initiate feat, while a scholar might take magic initiate. It's a mechanic and story boost rolled into one. And this change helps new players by giving early direction, no more wondering if your background even matters, because now it does and it shapes your entire adventure. Next up, we have equipment. In 2014, you could choose either a package of equipment based on your class and background, or roll for starting gold and buy yourself gear. That system still exists in 2024, but with the twist. You're encouraged to pick gear that makes sense for your background and story. For example, a noble might begin with fine clothes and a rapier, a street urchin might start with a dagger and some tattered gear, a cleric from a poor temple might have only basic robes and a homemade holy symbol. This gives players a storytelling prompt instead of choosing gear purely by utility. You're guided to think about how your character's past shapes what you own in the future. Meet Arla, a young halfling who grew up helping run her family's tavern. She's clever, charismatic, and has always dreamed of adventure. Step 1, you would choose a species. Arla is a Lightfoot halfling. She gets some traits like Lucky, which you get to reroll 1, and Brave, which is advantage against fear. Step 2, choose a background. She takes the entertainer background that gives her a +2 to charisma, a +1 to dexterity, the musician feat, which can inspire allies during rest, proficiency in performance and persuasion, proficiency with the loot and disguise kit, and also the language of Elvish. With step 3, she would choose a class. Bard. Arla wants to inspire others and tell stories. Now with step 4, equipment. Instead of just taking random gear, she starts with a loot from her bard days, a fancy cloak that was passed down from a family member, and a short sword gifted by a traveling adventurer. You see how the background and class flow together naturally. Arla feels like a character, not just a list of stats, and that's the goal of the 2024 changes. Alright, so what's the verdict? The 2024 character creation rules aren't just an upgrade, they're a complete rethinking of what it means to become a character in D&D. For new players, you're no longer forced into weird stat choices just to be optimal. Your backstory now means something mechanically, and you get to start the game with a powerful feat that sets you apart. For returning players, you'll notice a smoother, more flexible experience. You'll love how much easier it is to guide new players, and you'll appreciate how those changes support diverse storytelling. So the next time you sit down to build a character, ask yourself not just what your stats are, but who you are and where you come from. The mechanics will follow. Thanks for watching D&D Breakdown. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, let me know what your favorite new changes in the comments. And remember, if it's changing the game, we're breaking it down. Roll high and stay inspired.